Over MangaCast, ready?
Ready.
That time we woke up in a podcast and had to explain manga. Our heated adventures overanalyzing manga we find interesting. This week we read Go Go Loser Ranger by Negi Haruba, chapters 1 through 12. And Special Team Pose.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about our familiarity with the franchise that we read this week. 90% of my Sentai knowledge comes from being friends with Jacob and hearing him rant, but I've never heard of this one in particular. Jake, how about you?
I know some Sentai. I know a bunch of Tokusatsu stuff. Had heard of this outside of the context of the podcast, but only that it existed, and like what the premise was. I hadn't tracked it down until now.
Jay, how about you?
So I actually got turned on to Super Sentai way back in the day, and I can't even begin to list off the various segments that I followed, but this is something that I had not actually heard of outside of the podcast. So this is a fresh take for me.
And Matt, how about you?
Well, as with all of Jacob's interest, I have an unexplainable hatred towards it. And I had not heard of this until it had been recommended by a lovely listener to the podcast. So we're doing your episode for you. Never ask us for anything again. Or, do.
No, please do. We need a steady stream of new information.
We can only read so many things.
But we open up with a setup of the premise, which is that roughly 13 years ago, a gigantic fortress suddenly appeared in the sky and began raining monsters upon the city. Now, this has become such a regular set of events that people can just kind of show up to watch it like a bullfight.
We get a nice splash page of our Sentai team, and the bottom half of their helmets are open. What is this, Battle Fever J? There, I've made a niche reference. I've established myself as a nerd.
As with, you get Sam's rules on those, you get one per episode.
Exactly. Yes, we get the splash page of the fortress appearing above the city, the Sentai squad, and then we have nondescript character man going into the city on the day of the weekly attack, where he is stopped by two recruits to the Sentai team, saying, all right, be careful. This is going to be a active battle. You might get hurt. Haven't there been no casualties for years? Look, we gotta say it's contractually obligated. Anyway, enjoy your stay. Welcome to Milky Way City.
The street is named Sky Fortress Crossing
because it's just the giant looming alien monolith hovering atop the skyline.
Yeah.
And then the like Mardi Gras crowds and the street fair booths set up around the battlefield.
Yeah, they say battlefield. This is depicted as if it's like Disney on Ice or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's its own stadium and everything. It's weird.
It's literally in a stadium, yeah.
Which is kind of interesting, but also sad, and we'll dive into this in deeper detail. But if this has been happening every Sunday for the last 13 years, wouldn't you think the popularity would kind of peter off a little bit?
Well, you got to keep getting the public engaged.
Which we see exactly how the public is being kept engaged. Sort of, because we cut to 10 hours ago in the villain main headquarters, the Sky Fortress. What dastardly deeds are they getting up to? And it's just a bunch of putties running around going, crap, we don't have anything planned. What do we do? Session is in 5 hours and I spent the whole week procrastinating. I didn't prep anything.
I can't relate to this at all.
I feel you guys. I've been there.
This is also where we get the part that made me go, hold on a second, because they state that they've been fighting these battles and they are on battle 998.
Oh, wait, the math.
If you do the math, weekly for 13 weeks is like 600 and something. So obviously when they first landed, they must have done a crap ton of battles, but it's like a lot of battles had to happen in that first year to get to 998 battles.
That is kind of backed up with because they do talk about how, and we'll feel free to discuss this later on, but like what negotiation took place to kind of.
I'm just saying,
Create this
998 is like 19 years of Sunday shows. So it's because it's almost 1,000 and it sounds cool, not because it makes sense.
Not because it makes sense. Yeah.
So numberflation happened.
It's actually 962 years, but 1,000 sounds more ominous.
Yeah.
It's just like they had to have like 400 battles in the first year, which is multiple battles a day. So
given what we see later, I kind of buy that.
But then why are you counting them? Is like
and were those actually all L's? Because it's not 998 battles, it's 998 losses by the monsters.
Look, they probably do like the Golden Week, they probably do 5 matches in a week.
Oh, yep. They have to have the specials during the holidays.
Every time a new department store opens up, they have to have a battle on the rooftop.
Oh, God, I can actually see that happening, too.
And do we count the clip shows?
Yeah, of course we count the clip shows. How else are we going to reach a full season of this? But the monsters are all freaking out because they've got no plan. And the announcer on the radio is hyping it up, saying, the monsters might have some secret weapon coming this week.
We do not.
We don't have a secret weapon. Guys, we don't. What are we going to do? What if we had a really big guy? Dude, a really big guy is so boring. What if we had... What if we subverted it? What if we had a cute kitty villain? No, that's lame. We're catering to teenage boys here.
I love Fighter B. Entire genre seems to be the guy in the room who contributes nothing but says things are... And I'm like, yeah, someone should throw him out the airlock. Really, he's not making this a better work environment. No, that's bad.
Y'all suck.
My ideas would be good if I actually tried. Okay.
Then why don't you? We get introduced to footsoldier D, who is, despite these years of humiliation, still got some fire in him. He's like, well, okay, let's continue with the cat theme. How about a tiger? Tigers and dragons are like rival spirits, and the rangers are the dragon keepers. Come on, guys. Come on. Work with me here.
And tiger in Japanese is Tora, which if you really like just massacre the language, sounds kind of like Taraku.
So we can even have a transformation sequence.
You done it.
All right, print it. We are literally out of time.
We had all week to plan this, and we waited until 30 minutes before showtime.
As is standard.
Just like D&D. Every time.
Look, if the monster isn't like a bizarre hodgepodge of things that don't make sense and don't go together, is it really a Sentai villain?
But D still holds on to the original mission statement of why they're there. If we don't actually like give it our all and try to defeat these guys, we are never going to do what we came here to do. What was that again? World domination!
That's hilarious.
Guys, come on. At least pretend that you've got some verve left in you. No, D. Whatever, let's just go down there and get our asses kicked again.
That work grind.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. That's early on. They already talked about the fact that they're like lower grunts who have like their leadership taken out.
Yeah, because I called them putties, but in universe they're called dusters. And they're just the baseline Sentai villains that are supposed to show up, get walloped, and lead into the big monster of the week. And the reason that they're the ones who are in charge right now is because the actual bosses got eliminated like years and years ago, and humanity was never told.
In-universe IRL Sentai series happened over the course of a year, which is pretty standard. But they just kept it going without telling anybody that they'd actually finished off all the bosses.
And I love how it's gone on for so long that some of the fans are saying, come on, monsters, you can do it!
Ganbate, Monster-kun! Ganbate!
Ganbate, Monster-san! Truly showing the nature of humanity. People empathizing with the bad guys in their weekly series
and their futile efforts.
Also continuing the over manga cast tradition of me and Sam butchering other languages.
Oh, it's like our transformation sequence.
But
now, if only some of these putties could transform into werewolves.
Werewolves, yeah.
Where are the werewolves?
Well, one of them becomes a bear tiger.
Oh my God.
Good owl.
I'm so sorry, German listeners.
But yes, this is where we're shown that the Dusters have the ability to change their physical form, and one of them becomes the big monster man, and they all drop down for the weekly Sunday showdown. I love how they just stand there getting junk thrown at them until the Dragon Keepers arrive.
I love the announcement over the thing of like, do not throw refuse into the arena. It might be dangerous to you.
Please refrain from interfering with the battle. But we have a cool Sentai fight. The Rangers show up, do some battle, beat up some bad guys. And we get some more explanation on, how the Dusters are immortal, how the big boss monster can continue to regenerate, seemingly invincible. He turns into a truck and tries
with cat ears.
Yep.
Cat.
Gotta tick all the boxes, Franks.
I'm not gonna lie, the truck form seems more like a Sentai villain than the regular form.
Yeah, the regular form kind of gives me, what am I thinking of?
It's too normal looking.
Yeah, but I was thinking more like He-Man vibes. I don't know.
Kind of vaguely looks
Thundercats.
kind of looks vaguely like Incineroar.
It does.
Okay, I'm not crazy then, because I was gonna say kind of looks a little like a Pokemon.
See, that's what it would transform into, and then they'd have to summon their Zords in order to sell more toys.
But yeah, we don't actually see any mechs in this. It's just like regular Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. But he truck-coons all of them, but they don't die, showing how powerful they really are. The Dragon Keepers bravely stand to continue their fight, pulling out their ultimate power, the Divine Weapon, a gun!
The foot soldiers have to all gather themselves, and Foot Soldier D does not want to stay on script.
Well, Foot Shoulder D, they're also like, hold on, like, hey, wait, D, why are you here? Aren't you supposed to have off today? And he's just like, I'm not doing this anymore. What the fuck are you talking about, bud? Like,
I am so sick of it. Hey, sure, we don't die, but getting shot with a laser blast hurts, assholes. Do you have any idea how this is to live like this? For all this, it's been over a decade of like constant pain and humiliation. I am so sick of this. I'm going to kick all of your asses. I'm a monster, damn it. He hypes up so hard. He's really feeling himself. He charges in to attack them. Even one of the children on the sidelines cheers for him. And he just gets annihilated as one of the keepers delivers a super blast that Team Rocket blasts off again. Poor guy. He really thought he had it in him. Unfortunately, the dog is not in him yet.
Nope.
And as he reforms from his like infinite regeneration, we see that he is actually the guy from the beginning.
Yes. Because they can either choose to reform in the fortress or they can get carried away on the wind. He gets carried away on the wind, reforms somewhere in the city as the nondescript man from the beginning, and runs into the two ranger recruits. It's not really an organic way to bring this up, but these designs are something.
Yeah.
I do really like the girl's design in that her like very elaborate way of doing up her hair has like twin tails poking up to give her little bunny ears. It's very cute.
Which is interesting because we'll go into her character in greater detail, but she is very at times not very cute.
Well, yes, that's why she has those soulless black eyes.
She does have that 1,000-yard stare going on.
I don't know. Do you think she has difficulty with picking up men?
I mean,
physically? No.
given the way that jumpsuit hugs her form. That's another, like, subtle thing, I guess you could say, because, like, you know, these Sentai things are supposed to be very kid-friendly, very, safe. But, like, there's something... They've all got, like, lines on the suits that really hug the hips and ass. I don't know how else to put it.
Sam, have you watched Power Rangers?
Not recently.
Okay.
Yeah, no, the suits are always that form-fitting.
Well, I know the suits are always that form-fitting, but like the lines drawn on the outfit are really drawing attention to it.
Yeah, you gotta be buff. You've always had to be buff.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Like, if you look at all of the, even on the Western, like, Power Rangers, all of them were actual martial artists or, like, very much into the fitness world.
Power Rangers was to some extent constrained by the suit designs because they lifted all of their suits from Sentai. I think the first original American Ranger was the Titanium Ranger from Lightspeed Rescue. Up until that point, every Sentai character, or every suit character was from a Sentai. Japan is just more comfortable with the human form in general than
the States, yeah.
That being said, Pink Ranger does have a series of chevrons that point directly to her crotch. So.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
Footsoldier D deciding that he is going to indeed sign up for the Ranger Force to infiltrate them and destroy them from the inside. I just hope there's not a written exam because I'm really stupid.
You know what? I appreciate that. He's honest with himself. Maybe.
Not really.
He's honest with himself at times. he has flashes of self-awareness.
I don't know if it's because he's stupid or if it's because despite participating in this sham for 13 years, he still has like zero idea of Earthling culture and norms.
They don't like spend time like chilling out with them.
Yeah, so D is infiltrating the Ranger Force, running laps with the rest of the recruits. We get more exposition through this that the monsters may be immortal, but through the power of the divine artifact, they can be permanently killed. And
which is really interesting because presumably Fighter D was just killed by a divine artifact, but he's fine. That's weird, right?
Yeah, that is odd.
Unusual.
We get a sequence that I really liked where his infiltration skills, he might be able to form himself to look like a regular human, but boy, my man cannot act. Because he walks right into Ranger headquarters, does a day of basic training, and then walks up to the front desk and says, "Hey, where are the Dragon Keepers?" "Oh, they're not here." "Wait, isn't this Ranger headquarters?" "Yes." "Isn't it weird that they're not here?" "No." And just a confused look on his face. My poor guy. His single brain cell is fighting for its life.
Look,
yes.
That's at least a reasonable question. Like, maybe he's just a fanboy. He's just like, wait, I don't get to meet them even if I join up. He goes downhill in terms of competency real quick.
Yeah. Because he runs into the two recruits that he had met yesterday. Hibiki Sakurazawa, the bright-eyed idealist who insisted so much that he join up.
Of course, his last name is Sakurazawa. Oh my god.
I know, right? And when I say bright-eyed, I mean literally. I don't know what his eyes are.
Well,
yeah, he is.
He's got the star power from Oshinoko over
I was about
here.
to say, he's been reincarnated twice.
And then we have Yumeko Suzukira, the girl who, despite her somewhat unsettling eyes, has not done much. She's just kind of here.
She's observing silently.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta watch out for those.
Lying in wait, you might say.
And they decide to go to lunch.
Yes.
As one does, yes.
And as a normal human being, D just goes ahead and is like, I understand how people eat. Fork left hand, knife right hand, and then has just speared 2 steaks with each and is eating them like corn on the cob.
Yes. So, yeah, I kind of have to follow that same track. They do not consume any earthling media of any form.
They are the earthling media.
Oh, and then because my man D is a master of subterfuge, he decides to go, man, it really would suck if everyone found out that the Ranger event they have every Sunday was a sham and was scripted, right? And then there's just like silence.
We insert the plot.
What?
There's just silence all around him. It's just like, this is the equivalent of like Cold War era, someone going into the FBI is like, hello. It sure would be bad if KGB found out how to get into American capitalist stranglehold, yes? What? That's not even a sentence. What the hell was that?
And Yumiko's like, oh yeah, that weird conspiracy video I saw online. Yeah, no, you can't trust that.
Yeah, Yumiko. Coming in with the save.
Mm-hmm. The real layup there.
How fortunate.
I actually really did like this because I didn't pick up in the moment what she was doing, but it comes back later.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
Because in all honesty, like, you know, expecting Sentai logic, someone blurting that out and it not, you know...
ruffling any feathers.
That's not, like, completely outlandish, so it's like, no, wait, we're actually...
Also, at this point, I wasn't sure what tone the manga was going for. Like, it started out kind of dark with that first scene, but I'm like, okay, maybe this is like villain becomes a hero comedy. And I'm like, okay, so he's just doing things for gags and isn't being noticed. But then, like, it makes right after this chapter, it makes like a starch genre shift.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, that was fun.
It maintains a comedic air, but
this isn't like a gag manga world where everyone's just like, oh, yep, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes its like theming and characters seriously, even if the overall premise is farcical.
Indeed. And some Ranger fanboys come around, some bright-eyed kids here to take selfies with the recruits, and he's just like, man, these humans have it so cushy. The feast that I'm eating right now, this is insane.
I love too. It's just like they're in the land of like, yeah, being a ranger is really a rewarding job, and it just makes me feel good in my heart to be doing the right thing. And he's just like, you currently just had the owner of the restaurant come up to you and say your meal is completely free, and you are surrounded by people applauding you for being alive. Yeah, no wonder it feels good to do the right thing. Like, you sure it feels good to do the right thing and not, it just feels good to be worshipped? Like,
those are, in fact, two different things.
It's fine.
Little bit of hero worship.
It's Sentai goons versus the boys.
that is kind of what it's doing. Yeah, we haven't fully gotten to that point yet, but yes, it gets there.
Oh, yeah. But they're finishing up their lunch, and Hibiki is going over, or not Hibiki. Suzukiri is like, yeah, I'm going over to Red Garrison. I got to deliver a letter to the boss. Red Garrison? Oh, yeah. Instead of just stationing an HQ all the time, every one of the keepers has their own headquarters. Oh, places of my enemy's power to infiltrate. I mean, that sure is fun. You have a good day.
I've got to take one of those humans.
Yes. Will you be coming along, Hibiki? Nah, I've got other stuff to do. All right, bye. And they part ways. And then D immediately turns into Hibiki. Actually, I wanted to come along with you.
Oh, really?
Right in broad daylight in front of people.
He's not the brightest tool in the shed.
That is very much a Sentai moment, though. That's peak Tokusatsu.
That is 100%. You'd see like the crowd scene of someone like double back and like, huh, did I see that? Guess not.
The little kid is there, like, waiting to ask the new recruit for a selfie as well, and he sees him transforming and runs away like, Mom! Ugh. But now, with his new disguise, they go to Red Garrison for the super cool infiltration mission. Yumiko totally doesn't know what's happening right now.
This mission is also so weird. It's like, hey, go deliver a message. Like, we're not in modern era. Like, I need you to deliver this letter.
Yeah. Couldn't you send a text or
call them? Or
I don't know what the technological limitations are. What?
They have phones. They definitely have phones. No.
Importantly,
it's super secret, top secret information that can't be intercepted by electronic means. So we have to hand deliver a physical letter. Sure.
More importantly, D doesn't know what the technological limitations are. To him, the idea of delivering a letter is just as plausible as sending a text.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Who hands him the letter?
Yumiko.
Of course.
And of course, Hibiki would just go along with it. He's a starry-eyed, bushy-tailed recruit. Why would he question anything? The Ranger Force is ontologically good.
He's also a colorless ranger, so he's not even.
Yeah. Which is another thing that immediately stuck out to me, and I'm just so glad that I guess that was pointed out before.
Or the newest recruits are colorless. They haven't joined one of the individual Power Rangers, Dragon Keepers yet.
Yes. They haven't joined the Super Sentai officially yet.
We meet Panda Face.
Yeah, I
guy.
don't remember his name because that's always never referred to as.
Yes, and I'm so at first I was okay, they're trying to go with, Red being alt. I was expecting everyone from the garrison to have face paint. Nope, this guy. And I guess they're tattoos, maybe?
He looks like a Sentai villain. The thing is, he looks like a Sentai villain. He looks like the human disguise of one of the generals who can turn into a human to walk amongst them or something.
I literally got Joker vibes, and I was so confused. How are you on red?
Finally, after 10,000 years, I am free. Now I will destroy Earth.
Yeah, basically they walk into the Red Garrison, and he walks straight up to D disguised as Hibiki, goes hey, what are you doing here, punks? He's we're looking for Red Leader. He's just I'm Red Leader. It's my God, he's right before me. I could stab him directly in his stupid throat. And then Yumiko's just Shun, I think is his name.
Yeah, Shun.
Yes.
Something.
I don't remember his last name. Anyway, she, again, saves the day and says, this isn't Red Leader. He's just Shun.
Stop teasing the newbie. And then he's just oh yeah, newbie? Why don't you call me by the nickname you always call me by?
Shun, Kun, Shun, Chan, Shun.
This entire time, by the way, D is holding a fucking shiv he's got in his bag to literally just shank this guy. And looks suspicious as crap because currently Panda Face is going hey, why do you have your hand behind your back in your pocket as if you're about to strike me with something?
Yeah, Hibiki, the guy I totally know and have interacted with in the past. Why are you acting so weird?
Why'd you never call me back after we went on a date that time, huh, Hibiki? What's your pet name for me? Why'd you leave me on red? Oh God, this was a terrible disguise.
Taco? Anyway, Shun, that's enough. Yumiko, I love how done she looks, and you think it's just she's fed up with Shun bullying, but no, she's oh my God, this idiot, he's so bad at infiltrating.
Yeah, because the main thing is D doesn't know what the Rangers look like or the Dragon Keepers look like because they always have their masks on during fights. And he's just yes, their identities must be a top secret, which is why he thought Panda Face could have been it. And he's well, I'll still have to be a long drawn out process of me finding out what those people look like. And as he's thinking that, he looks over to a recruitment poster where it just has labeled Red Leader and
his face.
Just a picture of oh, he's actually very attractive.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it's the exact same face and name of the person who walks through the door directly next to him.
Yeah, how about that?
Red Leader.
He's right here. I should stab him right now. Why,
He's too beautiful.
What are these human emotions I'm feeling for the first time? Is this lust?
Doki doki.
His killing intent is too powerful. I need to summon up my courage to kill him. Yumiko just grabs him by the shoulder. Okay, Hibiki, don't go hero worshipping. Let's get out of here.
Red Leader, I just wanted to say, you didn't fight hard enough in that last battle. You could have been one-upped. I believe in you. What a weird thing to say to me. Never talk to me again. Bye.
Oh, this really should have gone.
Yeah, basically, Red Leader takes that compliment in stride and goes like, yep, keep up the good work, buddy. We're all on this in a team effort, except I'm the team. And that just leaves. And you're like, oh man, that was a pretty bungled infiltration attempt, but at least there were no negative side effects. And then Yumiko cuts off D's head. It's like,
you fucking idiot.
He's sulking in an alley like, God damn it, I couldn't summon up the nerve. I could have just attacked him. Oh, quit your sulking. Let me see the knife in your pouch. Oh yeah, sure. Wait, when did I tell you about Shank?
I mean, it's impossible not to know. You don't even have to have specialized training, man.
Especially because he regrows his monster head. And it's just like, hey, that hurt. And then she cuts it off again. It's like, okay.
Please stop doing that. You're not just stopping.
You don't understand. She's had to like hold on to a lot of feelings right now, and all of those just have to like overflow.
Oh, she has a horror manga character face.
Look, this is female. This is female anger personified.
Is she female anger, or is she like, she's still, even though it hasn't been expressly like tied to that yet, she still has like tsundere, not full on rage vibes.
Yandere.
I was about to say, I think she's pretty female anger, because her anger is that the people above her are incompetent and are looking down on her because of her gender.
But that doesn't, what I mean is it doesn't telegraph through her face. Like she seems very cool and collected. She's not, when you say female anger, I think of like seething rage.
I thought maybe I'm misusing that term. I thought that term specifically is like below the surface seething rage at like structural injustice.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm using it wrong.
Let us know in the comments.
Hey, is Matt wrong? Let us know in the comments. If Jacob's wrong, also let us know in the comments. We'll see who wins.
I mean, I wasn't attacking. I'm just saying, like, what I get from this is she's yandere. Sorry, excuse me. Just because, like, she doesn't telegraph, like, she has a lack of control. It's very calculated, very controlled, kind of like how manipulative yandere girls can be.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And when he's like, okay, look, let's stop beheading me, please. Let's talk. What did you want to talk about? Well, you see, since I discovered an enemy infiltrating the organization, I wanted to just work with you to destroy it from the inside. Huh?
I wholeheartedly refuse. You're just pulling a stoic orc.
Yeah, I know. I'm afraid I must refuse. Cuts off head again.
Yep. I'm just saying, like, I think you were rejected on two fronts there.
I don't know if it's because he doesn't want to work with the psycho girl or if it's because his pride as a monster won't let him accept help. It's both. It's definitely both.
I love how this scene then has to transition to them getting pancakes.
Yeah. Gotta cool it down a little bit.
I've wanted to try this date spot out forever.
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
This waitress is very... This man has a knife actively being held to his throat, and she does not care.
Hey, those cute couple. They're sitting off in the corner by themselves.
Maybe it's that kind of date spot. We don't know.
Yeah, don't think so.
A place where you can date girls with knives.
Yeah.
Was that a glint of steel in her hand or love in their eyes?
Honey couples, pancakes. Come here with an assassin.
There you go, Sam.
Yeah, hey. I resent that. Right, I'll have the pancakes too. Please don't stab me. I swear as soon as I get an ounce of power, she's going to be the first one I take that chop.
Just cuts off his head preemptively.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I get it.
This was all just his thoughts too. Like,
except he's got no capacity to control his facial expression, so he just looks pissed off, and she's like, that's enough.
He has no filter.
You're immortal, and this isn't a divine artifact. What do you care? Getting decapitated hurts!
Okay, I get you. I'll totally team up with you and won't betray you at the first possible moment. Oh, look, Hibiki. Hey, I need some help with literally anything. I'll go do that. And then just leaves. Except, unfortunately, Hibiki also goes, by the way, I know you're a monster. What?
How did you know I was a monster? I knew it. Wait, that was a bait? Why did you baited me? I fell for it?
I thought we were friends. Aren't you a monster? Damn it.
The thing is, Hibiki is actually as bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and optimistic as he looks, because he doesn't want to destroy the Ranger Force. He's like, I will work with you, my enemy, to reform the Rangers.
Yeah, because I suspect he says that he didn't know it was all staged, but I have a feeling it was one of those ones where it's like willful ignorance situation. So when Dee tells him that it's all been staged for the last 12 years, only the first year of the war meant anything, that's when he's like, then we're gonna reform them from within. I'm not going to do that. That has no value for me.
Yeah, my read on that is Hibiki didn't know, but is also willing to believe Dee when they say that it has been staged, because like, that makes sense, but also I want to believe that's the truth.
Yeah. There was evidence he was choosing to squint past, and when he was confronted with somebody who would know, it's like, yeah, that sounds right.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, the reason they're out there is because there is an off-schedule monster attack, and they find out that it is Fighter F who has come. We're never explicitly stated, but it's pretty clear he's looking for Dee.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's looking for somebody, and the only one that he'd care about that's missing is Dee.
But unfortunately, the Red Crew's there, and they're doing their job, but non-lethally, which what we find out later is just they definitely could have not drawn this out as long as they needed to. They're just kind of like blowing up his head with guns and kicking him. Like, this is... They're not in front of an audience, and they really let the mask fall to the floor.
Yeah. And it's like, man, you monsters have no honor showing up on an off day like this. How pathetic can you be? You're the ones who are jumping a single guy with like 6 goons. Don't you have any honor?
It's like, this is gaslighting happening right now?
Yes, explicitly.
And then who should show up but Red Keeper with a cloth-wrapped weapon, saying, "You know what? You're right. We should just end it now. Henshin."
Time to bring out my divine weapon, which sharp-eyed readers will notice this looks nothing like the toy they brought out earlier, which was clearly also then, based on the commercial they saw immediately after, clearly designed to sell a product. This is like an ancient katana wrapped in bandages, and it seems to be made out of some kind of stone or crystal.
It's made out of like bone and flesh. It looks like a hero relic from Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I would 100% believe this is like the part of an ancient dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And that thusly why they're dragon keepers.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a rib or a claw or something.
But it is a like ratchet, like raggedy katana. This looks like something a Nosuke would use.
Yeah. And it's here where we get the flashback to how the war actually ended, with the Rangers having slaughtered all of the masters of the Dusters using the divine weapons that permakill these immortals, literally standing in their entrails, spattered in blood, going, "All right, you lackey foot soldiers, you're going to do what we say if you want to live. Because we like this hero worship gig. And wow.
Yeah.
Here's where it starts to become the boys. Seeing the Red Keeper's just blood splattered all over his face and helmet. Ugh.
Yep. And he uses his divine technique. Very anime, because it's like named technique like Ascent of a Dragon Blade or something.
Yamato Nororochi. As he summons a bunch of dragon heads that eat Soldier F.
Yeah, and D and Hibiki witness this from the other side of the river. And D is just like, oh, no, that's definitely the guy who killed my boss. Well.
And as F is dying his final death, he's like, I actually tried to stand up for them, or stand up against them genuinely for the first time. Even though I'm actually dying, chasing after the dream that you still held on to, D, feels worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Reason to live, to carry on.
A reason to die.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point in the reading, I have to say, I was already leaning towards this way, where it was like this kind of twist of irony that we're at least encouraged to kind of cheer for the underdog, so to speak. These villains that, while they are 100% villainous, as they claim consistently, they're like, we are the villains, they still have, you know, this kind of
pride.
They're still sympathetic.
They're very sympathetic because, again, they've been essentially conscripted into this sense of slavery of what do they get in return? You're still
not being murdered,
not being
arbitrarily.
permadeath, because they're still murdered.
You're watching a group of people get their nuts kicked in constantly. It's
for,
hard
for the entertainment of others.
Mm-hmm. It's hard not to feel even a little sympathy.
And I mean, like, you know, like a lot of the aspect of like D in particular talking about how I'm a villain. He's usually saying this in response to the things that people say to him. And one of the things that I thought was pretty cool and one of the more deft things that this manga did was they do a good job of genuinely making his logic alien. Like, he has a train of thought that you can follow. It's not the way a normal person would think, but he's an alien foot soldier with, you know, from a completely different circumstance. And like the fact that he doesn't get like the human camaraderie and teamwork stuff, the fact that like the way he clings to self-interest and the way that the humans cling to camaraderie, like that contrast does a good job of framing his mindset as, in a literal sense, alien. And like that's why he's not like, you know, like that's why you don't get the you know, plucky heroic underdog moment of him actually wanting to join with Hibiki and reform the Rangers from within, because that isn't like, he doesn't see how that tracks. He can't get from A to B like that.
He also doesn't understand why peace would be desirable. He just wants to not be oppressed. Like,
yeah, he just wants to win because that's what he was made for.
We see him, you know, sticking to this idea of, nah, screw some sort of like reform thing. That's useless. I want to destroy my enemies. And to do that, I need to work with the crazy chick.
So we go back to Yumiko, who then has one of my favorite scenes in this, where she just goes, hey, I know we're all in the Super Sentai world and all this hero and villain thing, but that's really juvenile. Have you ever watched romance dramas? And he's just like, what do you mean by that? Basically, instead of like for preschool kids, these are for high school girls. And it's all about having loves and people who are along the right. And the main girl will eventually win the heart of the closed off prince. And all the rivals will not have the love they thought they deserved. But have you ever just wondered, man, don't you feel bad for all those rivals? They're never going to know true love. And he's just like, I have no idea what any concept you're describing is. You've just been monologuing at me about a thing I am incompatible with understanding. And she's just like, exactly. You understand the plight of the love rival. No, I don't.
I fundamentally do not. Well, too bad.
Thank you.
Well, too bad. I've just monologued at you about my hyperfixations, so...
I'm just saying this would be the perfect cutaway time for her to like drag him on all of these like really awkward like rom-com screenings.
Suzukiri, have you ever considered starting a podcast?
Oh, God. She has a foolproof plan that even an idiot like him can complete, which is, while the Sunday showdown is happening, he will disguise himself as Red Keeper and just walk into Red Garrison, because why would anyone be paying attention to the home base during the main show? Which actually isn't a terrible plan. Like,
it's not a bad plan by Sentai standards.
Yeah, it's got some flaws, as we will rapidly see, because as he is infiltrating, communicating with Yumiko through the earpiece, one of the random recruits is like, "Oh, Red Keeper, sir. Why are you here? Did you forget something? Are you going to use the bathroom?" "Ah, yes, the bathroom. That thing that we all do, where the food that we ate comes out of our butts. I mean, what's even the point of that? It makes no sense."
And then because this entire organization is based on kiss asses, he goes like, "Oh, yep, boss, you sure are right. It'd be more convenient if the stuff that came out our butts was more food instead of poop."
"I sure do love to shit out my ass, boss."
Yeah, and then we cut back to Yumiko going like, "I really hope D isn't getting in unnecessary conversations. That's really not his strong suit." And we cut back, implying this conversation has gone on in the meantime. It's like, "Oh yeah, boss, man, stuff coming out your butt, really cool, right?" He's like, "I sure do love having butt stuff." That's not what I meant to say. I'm gonna leave now. Don't talk to Pink Ranger HRQ about this. Probably wrong for me to assume Pink Ranger is. Oh no, Blue Ranger is HR actually.
Actually, yeah, you're right.
That was. I need to acknowledge my biases. Women aren't HR.
Anyway, now that the comedy bit is over, he continues his infiltration. All right, so now you're going to want to find a staircase, go down that, go to the third door on the left. How do you know all this? Women's intuition. You're bullshitting me, but it's working, so I'll keep going.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff with D where, like, he has more than a few moments where he proves that he is competent. It's just, like, he's so wildly out of his comfort zone that he makes hilariously stupid decisions regularly.
Well, he's a highly trained super soldier. It's just everything he hasn't put points in is literally just worthless.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, espionage requires you to be a good people person, which he is not.
Yeah.
He barely is a good person, let alone a people person.
Yes.
I must learn to human at a basic level.
Yes, I've built my super spy D&D character. I used a rogue to do maximum damage, and I'm gonna do assassin so I can infiltrate parties. Cool. What's your dump stat? Obviously charisma. Why?
But yes, he approaches the final room where the artifact should be kept, and crap, it's Panda Face. "Oh, hey, boss, what brings you back?" "I need to get something out of the room. Will you let me in?" "Oh, yeah, sure."
Sure.
That was easy.
Hey, boss, surprise bullet. What?
I love how he literally keeps the divine sword, the artifact that lets him transform into the Sentai warrior, in a bag full of golf clubs.
I mean, but yeah, the D even says in the moment, yeah, because they don't care. Mm-hmm. They don't
feel threatened.
They put up the illusion of security, but they don't have any fear of being like spied on or anything, because it doesn't matter. They've already won. Like,
yeah, this is the most lax, why would we even bother situation.
But yeah, as I alluded to earlier, he basically holds the sword out of the golf bag and a bullet goes straight through the back of his head. And he's just like, "What the hell? You just shot me?" He's just like, "Well, you're clearly a monster." And he's just like, "But you just shot me? What if I was your leader? You smelled different." That's not enough information to go off of.
Well, if you were actually my leader, you would have sensed the shot coming and dodged it.
Yeah,
would
he's
I?
that good. He's that good.
No, actually, I've seen Red fight a few times. That actually does track. Blam! Will you cut that out?
Nah.
I need to tell you about the thing that stop shooting me. I need to tell you.
I've got a bomb. Oh, why didn't you say that the first 4 times I shot you? I'm saying it now.
I kept trying to, and you kept shooting. Stop that.
I'm just saying, if you were to make an abridged series of this, if you don't have a joke that's just every time he tries to talk after the scene, his head blowing up, really, it just writes itself.
It does. I'm going to need to edit a gunshot sound into this so many times.
It's got to be a laser gun.
This kind of piled on the fact, I guess for me, that was really telling of this narrative that the invaders are not human, but also just so rude.
The invaders are not human, but the
Simple
heroes
dignity, yeah.
The heroes are in name only.
Mm-hmm. They're hardly human either, because he keeps shooting him in the head over and over and over again, insulting him constantly until he slumps on the ground and goes, "Ha ha! Good wins again." Man, I just love stomping on the little guy.
Think about the fact that yes, they're immortal, but they still experience pain and crap.
And this has one of my favorite scenes in the reading, because Pandaface grabs the sword after he's been shooting this guy in the head repeatedly, and he says I've got a bomb, don't blow me up. And he says yeah, but I could just kill you. And he goes, I want to live.
We have the standoff here where it's all right, well, I've had enough fun. I'm going to just take the sword and kill you now. Isn't that Red sword? I'm a high class recruit in the Red Battalion. Of course I can use the sword. Well, I've got a bomb. Oh. Because this entire time, Shun, Pandaface, has been talking about how, yeah, you guys, since you're immortal, you don't need to care. You don't have the fear of death giving you that edge. So how about I teach you to fear death? I have a bomb. Oh, crap, I fear death. And it becomes this standoff of, can I kill him before he lights the fuse? And then can I put it out before the bomb goes off and I die? I don't get another play at this, because if the bomb goes off before I kill him, he objectively just wins.
He explodes, but then reforms later.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
The only chance that Shun has is getting to him with the sword before the bomb can go off. And they do so much good with the expressions on Shun of setting him up as this giant arc villain, and eventually he just kind of caves, and it's okay, let's talk this out, let's not do anything too hasty.
Man to man,
he drops kayfabe immediately.
Mm-hmm. And he's and I also love D here, because he's you know what, no, you've been such an asshole, why would I bother? I'm just gonna bomb this base and reform later. That's a real win for the invaders. He fakes lighting the fuse, and when Shun recoils and covers his face, D uses that as an opportunity to leap up, grab a driver, and whack his head with it.
I love he's just got the line of this I'm a monster, I don't have the privilege of being able to look cool, I have to win however I can. And he just beats him. I don't think he beats him to death. But
no.
He might. Okay, he shows up later. Cool.
I'm not sure. He's mentioned as still alive later.
Okay. He does beat him with a driver until he's on the ground. So
yeah. he's been comatose for hours. It is quite savage.
Severe head trauma.
D manages to grab the sword, gets out, crawls through the ductwork, and gets to the very top of the building, opens it up, is talking to Yumiko the entire time, haha, we got the sword, we did it, we're the best ever. And then he opens the door, sees the boots and pants of a Red Ranger outfit, and just goes, hey, Yumiko, I might have to call you back.
Something's come up.
Red Ranger's just standing there okay, little monster, give back the sword.
Yeah, a lot of paternalism going on, very creepily, and ultimately they land on the fact that they are celebrities, meaning that they need to have a crowd in order to perform.
This is the most Homelander no, it's not even the most Homelander Red gets, but this is a great scene of him just going like, come on. No, I'm still going to beat the crap out of you, but I want my sword. But like, there's no air of him taking him as a threat is the main juxt of this like whole fight.
And like the sort of important part is physically, that's true. Like, he stands no chance. There's no way he can win this fight. And that's sort of the context that they're thinking about this from. Over the course of this, we're going to find that Lax's way of looking at things is going to cost Red specifically very, very dearly.
This is also when I think we get firmly established that the Dragon Keepers have like supernatural strength.
Yeah.
It wasn't really depicted earlier because they'd only been fighting these monsters who, as we determined earlier, like have to worry about getting hit on the back too hard. Like, hey, buddy, how's it going? Slap on the back, like chipped his skin. And he's just like, oh, God, that almost poofed me. Don't just do that out of nowhere.
Well, that was his disguise, but because the foot soldiers are stronger than normal people.
Yeah, but they're more fragile than normal people, though, is the whole thing. Like, they can't take a lot of damage, but they are physically stronger.
I think it's just his disguise. But the point is, the keepers are way stronger. That's kind of standard in Sentai, where it's like, why are you putting on the suits at all? And usually the excuse is that it gives super strength.
It's also the same thing in Sentai. It's just like, wait, these people have super strength? It's hard to tell because they only ever fight monsters that also have super strength. Like,
yeah. So also, there's obviously training involved per the original like testing threshold they have to go through. But I'm just wondering, do we ever get any elaboration of their powers other than they have a suit and they have these divine weapons?
I think based off of something that we see later with Whiny Boy and the Scythe.
Yeah.
A line that he thinks in his internal monologue suggests that using the divine weapons has a sort of cost on the wielder. So I imagine it's the sort of thing, if you need to train up your body in order to be able to it's a one for all thing. You need to build up your power so that your body can withstand the boost. Withstand the boost, and then you get your Charles Atlas superpowers and your sick ass weapon.
That classic shonen nonsense of, hey, how come just doing a basic strength workout gives me the ability to throw boulders?
I don't know.
I don't understand how being able to lift 100-pound weights with both hands makes me like able to punch cars.
I don't understand how being able to lift 100-pound weights with both hands allows me to fly.
Well, did you not use an air conditioner during the summer?
Go
on a 10-kilometer run every day?
100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups.
100 crunches and a 10-kilometer run every day.
I see. You also do the Pete Davidson workout.
But yes, we have. I did really enjoy this fight because it also had some fun stuff using D's regenerator power. Although it's weird because the way that the Duster's regeneration works seems to change depending upon the necessity of the situation. Because
they try to reform detached body parts, but if they can't, they'll just form new ones. It's harder and takes more effort to make something from scratch. So that's why they both can and actually do pull their body parts back together if it's available.
And I do really like him using his severed arm and like drawing it back to fling stuff at his opponents.
Yeah, and like the whole idea of this fight is that Red Ranger heard about the break-in, came here after the I assume they wrapped up the Sunday show is what it seems to be, and then said, oh, looks like we've got an encore. There's someone on top of Red Compound, this lone monster, and the entire team shows up, and he's just like, you started this fight. You don't get the privilege of expecting it to be one-on-one, and then the rest of the Ranger Corps comes in.
Yeah, and that's after a moment where Red delivers an attack that cuts off another attack that cuts off D's arm, because, he already had the initial one that let him do the fastball special with the water tower.
Yeah, he gets that arm back, but then the other arm is taken off subsequently.
And also, that's the arm that was holding the divine weapon, so that went...
Yeah, flying off the roof.
It appears to go flying off the roof, but then D stabs it back into the thing because he was holding it in his teeth, and Red goes like, wow, you really held on to that thing for some reason.
You must be really committed to your objective. You held on to the divine tool instead of saving your own arm. I guess you've got some guts to you. Anyway, now that the rest of the team, and more importantly, the camera crews have showed up, time to finish your ass off.
Well, time to ham it the hell up first.
Time to also have a team meeting where it's clear none of them agree with each other, and they're all arguing about what makes the best optics for the fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then Pink comes in going like, I'm just going to say everyone's ideas are bad and not contribute. And I'm like, Pink, I see. You're much like another fighter in the fighter B. You would get along.
I hope there's a bit where they meet and they do nothing but negative Nancy every idea that happens.
Gonna double team this.
But basically, the entire Ranger crew is just them arguing about every idea they have is cliche. And then, almost as if he's antagonized by this, Red just goes, hey, monster, I'm not going to kill you. Why don't you join the side of good? And then, like, the news crew is just like, oh, what an amazing twist. And he's just like, yeah, see, what a great idea. And then D's just like, I would rather die.
Well,
no problem.
We can arrange that.
Blue, kill this guy. Okay. I do have a lot of racism against monsters, even a surprising amount compared to my compatriots.
Blue has... We'll get to Blue.
My character trait is being racist against monsters, which, considering the circumstances, is impressive.
Like, the rest of the Ranger crews is like 1800s America level racism. Blue is H.P. Lovecraft.
Uh-huh. It's really impressive how much of a prick this guy is. But he stabs D with his divine lance.
Which kind of looks like an umbrella.
A little bit, yeah. This causes D to swell up like he's a Dig Dug enemy.
And I'm like, that tracks. It's a lance. It probably injects something.
Yeah, so he's like, I don't care. I did everything in my power. I have gotten further than any of us have in over a decade. I'm proud of my effort. Someone else will pick up the torch. You'll all remember me. That's funny, because I can never tell you guys apart.
And he just explodes in a violent fire and like his parts disintegrate. And Red's just like, oh, well, that was a good fight. Walks over to grab his sword. The second he touches it, it also disintegrates. And he's just like, that.
Wait, you're telling me that the divine tool he planted in the roof was his transformed arm, where did he put the sword?
Oh, this sucks so hard.
I am in trouble.
Then we cut to Yumiko on the other side of the phone going like, ha ha ha, we've got 1 down, 4 to go. And then as if it's like dramatic irony, it shows the billboard of all the Rangers together, where earlier in the fight, D had thrown a water tower and it crashed, or I'm sorry, he dodged a water tower or whatever, and it crashed through, destroying the red on the team lineup, and it's just like, oh, yep, 1 down, 4 to go.
I loved that so much. D had done his like armor generator move. Red batted it away to get rid of the water tower. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually, yeah, it's Red who did that. Yeah, it's Red who did that. So the metaphor is even more on the nose.
The self-destructive nature of hubris.
Yeah, Red's own downfall is from his own hubris.
Yep. And with that, we get to the end of Volume 1, and also, our main character is dead, and presumably Yumiko's on the cover of Volume 2, so we must be following her now. We'll find out after the break.
And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left our explicitly not a hero. He died, so rest in peace. Rest in peace, D. He will never be able to make nuts jokes again. I don't think he would have done that anyway. But
like any Mighty D, we find out that he has quite the refractory period.
Indeed. Because we have a interstitial chapter where Yumiko, presumably now our main character, goes to a meeting of all of the Dragon Keepers and their number one attaches. The Holy Banquet.
And remember when I caught myself earlier saying this is the most Homelander Red Ranger gets? No, this right here is the most Homelander Red Ranger gets.
Oh, yeah.
I understood that reference.
Oh, you see, Red Ranger is the leader of the Sentai crew.
And Homelander is a parody of Superman where, yes, Yumiko is the last one to show up. So now the Holy Banquet can begin. We have all of the Dragon Keepers here and their number one juniors. And it's also here where we get a real showing of the personalities of the Keepers, because Red appears jovial, a leader bringing people together. No big deal. We're here to discuss some important matters, but let's all just have a good time. He's like that CEO that tries to be relatable.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Blue's just like, hey, what's that woman doing talking?
Wow, Yellow, you really couldn't instill enough discipline in your to make her show up on time, huh?
Yeah, that first one was only barely a joke, because that's certainly the sentiment, at least.
Yeah, it's
so many.
Yumiko's got a great comeback too, because he essentially goes, man, Yellow, why don't you keep your lover in check? And she's just like, lover? Are you serious? Or are we in like middle school? Also, I'm just going to say this. If that's not how relationships work, but it really is telling to you that that's how you view this connection we have. And then Blue's next in command, who's also a woman, goes, wait, boss, you think about me that way? Ew. And he's like, no, I don't. Oh my God.
So yeah, Blue's got some anger problems to the point where they as much as say, yeah, Blue, your temper is so bad. This is why we have you play the quiet stoic one. Now stop Vegetaing and sit your ass down.
And then we get the Red scene, which is amazing because his second in command, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed guy goes, hey, Red, you lost your divine weapon. I'm going to be honest. I feel like you should step down. And Red goes like, man, is this guy's name like Demiki or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not in the notes, so clearly it doesn't matter. But it's like that. And we get like a flashback scene of he's just like, maybe I should step down. And we get a flashback to them training, and it's him going like, yeah, Demiki, you're so strong. I bet one day you'll even been stronger than me. And it's like very like Sentai, like it's very shonen action hero. And then we cut back to him going like, it doesn't actually always go by rank. And then it just cuts to him punching the guy in the gut, and he just flies into the wall and it shatters. And he's just like, oh, I thought you said you were strong enough to take over for me.
And the first part is that I honestly had thought like this was gonna like explode into more of a fight. No, this guy is just fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's like blubbering and not understanding why his like friend would do this to him. And then we cut to clearly Red has punched him again because the back wall, like the wall behind him, is now red when it wasn't before. And he's
saying, judging by the blood splatter, the other guy did not even
there
get
is no more head.
Yes.
Yeah. And Red is covered in blood.
And just goes back to eating.
He's also, we don't see the head, but there is a large blood splatter. His body is kind of dangling there, feet clearly off the ground, as if his neck has been driven into the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So, super strength?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Green. Green, the one with the shark teeth who looks the most brutal and violent of them all, is actually the one that tries to stop him. Anyway, sorry I interrupted everybody there. Let's get back to eating, says Red. Actually, like finger fooding with the with the gore spattered hand, like,
And I'm just like, I think I'm on Yumiko's side now, because this is an organization that can just kill one of its top, like literally second in command of one of its organizations can just disappear in a fit of passion.
Mm-hmm.
And this
pretend like
this is just normal for them.
Yeah.
Like no one reacts other than Green going like, hey, you shouldn't do that. But like, and I love how it kind of paints Blue earlier in the scene as like the violent one, but Blue's just angry. Red is violent to the point that it's not even like a passion thing. That is just his default reaction is
extreme violence.
Yeah. Like it's not that he was angry. It's, oh, you think you're better than me? No, you're not. Matter of fact, you're dead. Like,
prove it. Prove it. You sucker punched me. Too late. You lost.
Also, Red doesn't have his divine weapon. He's just wearing a Sentai suit and is still strong enough to punch someone's head into oblivion. Like, yeah.
That was what immediately freaked me out, because I'm just like still on the edge of like what their superpowers would be. Do they have like super speed and super strength and all that stuff?
The next arc makes that much more confusing. So we don't really get an answer yet.
Yeah.
It's a Sentai, so they have as much powers as they need for the scene they're in.
Yep. And this scene, he needed to obliterate someone's head who was his friend.
Were they friends, or like he was also in my mind like hammering home that no, this is a hierarchy, and absolutely no, not.
The flashback he had implies they're like mentor-mentee kind of relationship.
Yeah, it's very much the case where it's setting it up like it's supposed to be that, and then proceeds to not be because Red is that much of an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Yumiko has a little mental aside that's important in that she goes, the guy who gets killed is the one who told her about where Red keeps his divine weapon. Which was presumably some politics nonsense that he was just like, aha, if he's forced to step down, then I can slide in and gain power. And that doesn't go his way at all.
You didn't know who he really was.
So, yeah, with that display of utter brutality complete, just to really hammer home the true nature of our antagonists, we cut back to the Flying Fortress where the guys are playing tic-tac-toe.
They're really, really into this game of tic-tac-toe.
Bless their hearts, they're trying.
I just don't understand how you could have your own flying fortress, but you don't even have like TV.
It's not theirs.
Got a radio.
Well, it's not theirs anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, technically it was their bosses, and their bosses are dead.
But Fighter A is like, hey guys, quit screwing around. The Rangers just showed up. What do you mean the Rangers showed up? Or is this it? Has the time finally come? And we see Red and Blue drop out of a helicopter. And it's like, hey guys, colleagues, buddies, how's it going? Why does everybody look so nervous? We're just here to talk. I said smile. Our faces are kind of incapable of that. I don't care. I said smile. Right?
Yeah, then Blue's on the sideline going like, shut up about your alien biology being incompatible with what we're asking you to do. I hate you so much.
Anyway, we're here to introduce you to the new status quo. What happened to the old status quo? Well, you see, have you noticed how two of your guys haven't come back recently? Yeah, what happened to them? They're dead.
Because they broke the rules. And I'm thinking, you broke the rules. I would never dream of doing such a thing. Yeah, I don't really care. You
have babysitters now.
You're not in charge. These two are in charge.
As we have two members of the Blue Battalion, 3rd class and Junior 3rd class, there to keep an eye on things. We have one of them, Ruri, he doesn't do anything in our reading. The other one is more important. His name is Aaron Hikaru, but I'm just going to call him Whiny Boy.
Fair.
So
Fair.
to be fair, other guy does do one really funny thing. It's when one of the fighters like speaks up, hey, doesn't this like break the treaty we have with you? He jumps and punches his head clean off, and then it doesn't reform and he just dies. He's just like, yeah, by the way, we can use our boss's divine powers. What?
What? Okay,
And
understood.
that's it.
Making up the rules on the fly now.
Mm-hmm.
But you were saying about Whiny Boy, Sam?
Yeah, he is going to be henceforth known as Whiny Boy because he is constantly cringing and stuttering.
And at first, I thought that was part of his like character. Like he was trying to play up as like he was weaker than perhaps he was when he like displays his power. But no, he actually just has a speech impediment.
Yeah.
He is constantly cringing and also saying things that are cringe, but we'll get to that.
He's strong middle schooler energy, really.
Oh my god, he is.
Oh boy, and how?
So anyway, we've been away from the main character for too long. We cut back to D, who has reformed himself in the forest and is dragging himself along the floor because he does have a hole in his gut where the divine weapon pierced him. Luckily, he blew himself up with TNT before he could fully die, which is why he made such a big explosion. Which, counterpoint, Blue's kind of aware of because he goes, I didn't mean to like attack him that hard. He shouldn't have blown up that much. Don't let Red know we're investigating. We might be tried as war criminals. And I'm like, wait, so is Red in charge of everyone?
Well, yeah, he's the
That's
leader.
usually how Sentais work.
I thought he's a leader and like a tactical leader, not like a king, though.
It depends on the Sentai, but also these people are assholes, and Red has got a really low bar for violence.
Yeah, I guess it's like Justice Syndicate rules. Superman's always in charge if they're evil.
Yeah. I did really like the explanation for D not being truly dead. I thought that was clever.
It was the bomb that he had threatened Pandaface with.
Yep. Yeah. And plus the plan was to pretend like he died while getting the sword away.
Unfortunately, Blue, as Matt alluded to, Blue recognized that explosion was too big for him holding back to not damage the ally base. So he probably pulled a sneaky on us. Okay, so they either went back to the fortress or he got blown away by the wind. I calculated where the wind blew that day at that time. So, Whiny Boy, you're going to go investigate the wind. Well, I gotta go into the woods. Do it! Okay.
This only happened to me.
It's not fair. I just want to lock myself in my room.
But I also want to be acknowledged and praised as a hero.
So anyway, we find that D has crawled his way into a cave and is desperately trying to heal, but can't because divine weapon nonsense. When a figure in a raincoat finds him, is just like, it's too late. And we're like, oh no, is this that loser? No, because this figure is revealed to have bright, shining eyes, as if someone looking into the good side of life. I guess. I guess
his eyes are kind of fucked up, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
That's the plot point later.
He's got no pupil.
Nope.
It's all eye shine.
His future's so bright, he's got to wear shades.
It's your boy Hibiki.
Yeah, and Hibiki basically goes, hey, knew I'd find you here. I brought you a medical kit. I don't need your surface nonsense. I'll just shove one of my arms into the wound and heal it. Oh, holy shit, that actually appears to be working. What?
Yeah, this is totally preventing me from bleeding out. Holy, this hurts.
Yeah.
Everything called privacy.
I love that too, because we never actually get fully explained if he can heal this wound.
Yeah, he essentially just shoved a finger into his bullet wound and kept it there.
The implication is that the divine tool injuries affect the Dusters like normal weapons would affect humans.
Mm-hmm.
So presumably he can heal from that stab wound eventually.
Yeah, we don't get any explicit confirmation. So
yeah. Given where we left off, I think it's safe to assume that it's going to heal over time.
Just remember, he has a bullet wound essentially for this entire arc.
For this entire arc, yes.
And I really like this because D is so easily manipulatable because he is very open to praise. I guess it comes with 13 years of getting your ego crushed, but all it takes
Oh
is...
my god, positive reinforcement!
All it takes is for Hibiki to be like, dude, that transformation thing is so cool. Wait, you can't die? That regeneration thing? That's rad, bro. He's like, yeah, look how cool I am, you pathetic human. I can mimic your face or my face. Hey, give me that. I'm going to wear your face as a mask. It doesn't even fit you, you stupid human. You're right. I'm way less cool than you. Damn right you are. I'm like, they're just being goobers together.
D just needs a hype man.
Yeah.
And it's also like their ships passing each other in the night, yet somehow they are perfectly compatible. D does not understand the hyper-friendliness, and Hibiki does not understand the self-aggrandizing individualism. But it keeps working.
We also find out in this conversation that the reason Hibiki has searched out for D is because he tried to call the media to reveal that the Rangers are bad guys, or at least that they're faking the fights. And he goes to the meetup with the media contact and is assaulted by some armed thugs. And barely,
this isn't Sandland.
The media doesn't just control everything.
No, the media has a screening process, so they don't let any random whistleblowers speak to the entire country. It's an actually effective propaganda network.
Really?
Yeah, we get some exposition on how the ranking system works.
I'm surprised how long it took them to really come to brass tacks of just explaining the ranking system.
Yeah,
because it is not how I thought it works. Because this, it's essentially there's rank 1, which is the Ranger, and their junior rank 1, who is their second in command. Then there's rank 2, a junior rank 2, and then rank 3 and a junior rank 3.
Yeah.
So that Red Ranger he fought earlier was a senior rank 3, which means they are the 5th strongest person.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hold on. Why couldn't we just do a top 6 and a bottom 6, like the greatest manga ever written, Demon Slayer? That's so much more less confusing. I know if it gets too confusing, we can just cut half of it too.
Well, it's fine because it's also split into 5 different organizations.
At this point, I wonder if part of the propaganda is because there's just so many people joining the forces, they just need slots for people to fit in.
Yeah,
I
really don't want to go into the fact that this is our organization that's actively recruiting and had at least 20 people show up to the enlistment exam, and they've been doing this for 13 years.
Yeah.
But to the best of my ability, it seems like 20 people work there.
But there's also the rank lists and the independents, so it sounds like they've got a wide base of just like menials, paper pushers.
I have no doubt that it started off with like maybe 5 people, like 5 houses, and then like ballooned from there. But then as they gained popularity and they found out this was such a great idea to like create this organization.
You know what it is? Because we've already seen indications that it's a toxic and dysfunctional corporate ladder. It's a whole bunch of executives just chilling in their C-suites, and then a whole bunch of lower level dudes with bullshit jobs.
Yeah.
Oh, it 100% is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, it's probably like a giant marketing department and like no other like value producing.
Just a whole bunch of different departments that do nothing but pass notes to different departments.
I love the offhand reference they make to the fact that they also help police officers solve crimes, and I'm like, do they? Or do they just come and beat up criminals with superpowers? Like,
they're helping.
Hey, that guy died. He must have been the criminal. That was the witness. He died of a guilty heart.
Yeah.
He died of your fist. It's still in his chest. His heart's not beating, isn't it? What is wrong with you?
If he was innocent, then my fist would have missed. I am the hammer of justice.
Heroes.
You know what? A Sentai wouldn't lie. You're right.
And the day was saved.
Yes, from something.
I also love how Hibiki ends up getting D's name because D, he's like, so what do I call you anyway? I don't want to tell you. Well, I guess I must have underestimated you. Yeah, you underestimated me. I'm a weapon of war. You're a threat to mankind. That's right. I'm a scourge of worlds. You're so powerful. Damn right. You'll remember the name of Foot Soldier D.
Yep. I don't even think they really thought that one through the entire way, but it worked.
It worked.
Hibiki has strong energy of, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have a vague plan, and we're going to see where this goes. Yeah. And then there's D, who doesn't even have that, but has the same energy.
I mean, yes.
I love how D is just like, names are a colonizer's tool of oppressing on us. We didn't need them before you enslaved us. And it's just like, well, what? How'd you tell each other apart? We didn't need to do that because the bosses did that. What?
Yeah, it gets really deep and sad. This entire time, they were originally created and have continued to be used as pawns. I'm just coming to that realization. Not even afforded names.
Yeah, and this is where it's this whole section that really delves into the idea that the reason why D can't connect with the human characters is because his entire existence is so fundamentally different from theirs, which it's sort of interesting because I'm not sure if the series is gonna like have him develop to be more human or not, because he seems to be kind of comfortable with at least his current position.
Yeah.
There's also some implication that there was at least one of the executives that was actually kind to them.
I could see it could go one of two ways. It's either he becomes more human, and that kind of makes that the humanizing aspect of him is to counteract the executives or the Ranger Corps being more and more villainous and monstrous as we learn more about them. Or counterpoint, it goes full into the satire and it's just like, this is an inhuman monster that doesn't understand these concepts, but is still more human than the people who are just being assholes. Yeah, I could legitimately see it go either way, and I'm not gonna lie.
I think the latter would be my preferred one, honestly.
It would definitely be more unique, and which way it goes is actually, to me, one of the driving factors in me wanting to continue reading, because like they do present it that it could go either way, like not even in the sense of like, I wonder what the author will/has picked or, you know, anything like that, and more in the sense of that seems to be a core idea in the story diegetically.
But anyway, they've been talking for too long, and as such, now that they're done with the dialogue scene, an encounter is generated.
Yep.
And we find out Whiny Boy has found them. It's like, hey, what's going on here? And Hibiki's just like, hold on, I'll solve this. Hello, friend.
I found a foot soldier. You traitor!
You traitor. No. I mean, sure, yes, I just captured him because I wanted to kill him myself and get all the credit. Total ladder climbing bullshit with me. I'm sorry. Oh, that's actually what we like here. So, you're going to show me where he is now, right? Yes, he's this way, away from this cave.
Meanwhile, D can only hear them talking. Is like, that bastard's going to betray me. Not if I betray him first.
Why is he walking that way?
Oh, yeah. And Hibiki leads him away. And essentially, they walk down a wooded path. And he's just like, he was around here somewhere. Oh, it's a dead end. I must have got confused. And then Whiny Boy's just got a scythe to the back of his throat. Yeah, I trusted you once. Not going to do that again. I really don't want to kill anyone, though, because that would make me feel sad. Stop lying, please. And he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
It's just a simple mistake, sir, I swear. Well, you're not going to make the mistake again now, are you? Hey!
Then D jumps in from the side. Hey! It's me, D! I walked away from the place you had cleverly trapped me and slid out of those stupid human restraints. You can never catch me. I'm the gingerbread man.
Yes. I love this so much.
The like aggressively rejected but accepted anyway camaraderie, the strong cat energy of D.
Yes.
Hey, I hate that person, but don't you dare touch him. He's mine.
And I really like this because D is, they're like in a little ravine and D is up on the cliff and he's like, I'll take on all 3 of you Rangers at once. But there's only 2 of us. Huh? Ain't that guy over there with you? And as soon as Whiny Boy looks the other way, well, bam! He leaps down and just plunging attack hits him in the head. Oldest trick in the damn book. That hurt.
We get into the fight between Fighter D and Whiny Boy. And I don't know how this is going to end up after the edit, but if there's an explicit marked on this episode, it's for this discussion
It's
right
because
here.
of this part, yes.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to warn you. I'm going to say this now very calmly. And if you want to skip over the rest of the section, because based on where you are, if you want to hear us discuss this or not, he has a power that's a white sticky fluid that smells bad. So it looks and reacts like cum. We're going to be talking about cum.
Quite a lot.
Because the manga itself makes that connection.
I thought he was just sweating and crying because he's a little baby.
But no, his face
No.
is drenched in cum and regret. A place I'm sure most of our listeners are familiar with.
He is trying to get the D.
He is.
Oh God, he is trying to get.
He's trying
you.
so hard.
But Whiny Boy is like, okay, that's it. I'm gonna kill your ass now. So you and your dirty tricks. I activate my divine weapon. No, wait, hold on. Back up. There's only 5 of those.
We changed the rules. Shut up.
Yes. So now we can have
Duplicates.
duplicate copies and
Turns
Who
out
knows?
every one of the officers can access. They can download the power and be on a shared phone plan with their captain's divine weapon.
yeah, I can't.
But also it seems like Red's team could also do that. They changed the rules here, and I think that's fine. But
Depending on what house they belong to, it's just
see if they can have the sword of Gryffindor. Gotcha.
Yeah.
What this is here to facilitate is this is a weaker version of the later boss.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to beat this lesser version to grow.
Oh God, Jacob, does that mean that Blue's lance fills the person with cum?
Explosive cum.
Oh
God.
my God, I think I've read that dojin.
Nitroglycerin cum.
Oh God, that is the Bakugo dojin. Gotcha, no, it hurts.
Okay, we take it back. This episode. We take it back. The episode isn't explicit for the fight scene we're going to describe. It's explicit for that joke right there. And we're not cutting it.
I told you this was going to be an explosive nut, Deku.
Oh, gotcha, no. One for all.
Alabama smash.
Kachan, did I tell you I can make tentacles now? Deku?
No, wait, no, not Alabama
Stop.
Smash. No, what's the one that had the game? Vermont Smash. There we go.
Oh.
Anyway, Whiny Boy has a bone scythe that flings out acidic cum.
There's no other way to describe it. Yes.
It is a
Acidic cum.
goopy white fluid.
We also have one of my favorite bits where it's like, this might just be a knockoff, but it can still perma-kill you, alien. Death to all Xenos for the Emperor. And he's just like, right. The knockoff weapons. Yeah, I knew that. And then he runs away next panel. Just right, of course, I knew that. Runs away. It's me and my
Not you with
job.
this.
And this fight's insane because up until this point, this hadn't been super battle shonen. And this fight is written out like a Naruto fight. It's like, oh yeah, you unlocked my secret genjutsu where I turn my scythe into cum. I'm like, I've read that, Dojin. It's like,
Also, we learn that it has a like ranged blast attack. And
you do hate it when the splatter's a bit more than you were intending, right?
Exactly. The only reason that D doesn't die is because he feels a sharp pain in his guts.
And it makes it look like he's dodging.
He has to bend over.
Gotta bend over the back shot
to not get it all over his head, yeah.
Well, you can't get it into your hair. That'd just be...
Exactly.
Hold it. I just want to say, dear listeners, I was not intending to be reading this manga and then witness the cum fight, but that's where we
what
are.
Happened. Like, it's just true.
This is my favorite fight, guys.
It doesn't help that to escape the cum scythe, D starts climbing trees.
I mean,
he is shimmying up that wood.
I'm just saying, not since Onani Master Kurosawa have I seen a manga so dedicated to be about cum. And that is a deep cut for people who know what FAP note is. So oh god, we should do Onani Master Kurosawa. That would be a fun.
Sure, let's do it. Put it on the list.
Oh, next time on Over Manga Cast After Dark. I didn't expect Go-Go Loser Ranger to be on that list, but
I didn't expect Go-Go Loser Ranger to be put on a yaoi list, but it's two men flinging cum at each other.
There's not enough yaoi. There's just too much cum.
That's true.
The cum to yaoi ratio is off in this.
Yep.
I hate the fact that this is still technically on topic.
Yeah.
Just
so
the official translation too is just making they call it sticky, stinky fluid. Like
that's what the thickness is.
Also, at some point, I guess, did we mention it's acidic? Oh, what happens is D gets slashed earlier in the fight, grabs the scythe, and then has to let go because like, ew, it's sticky and it's burning me. And he's just that's when Whiny Boy goes like, you shouldn't touch my things. Now I'm embarrassed.
I covered it in my goop and it's acidic.
Oh, don't tell the others.
It'll disintegrate you.
Oh no. So yeah, like literally they just keep flinging cum at each other.
And here's the thing that like to put the cum jokes aside for a while.
As difficult as it is.
Put the cum jokes on the back burner.
Yeah, we'll just swallow that for now. Doesn't even work.
We'll spit it out later.
Yeah. The entire time, Whiny Boy is oscillating between this, oh, woe is me, why do I have to deal with all the bullshit, just monologuing, and then going into like a Sentai monologue about nobody ever paid attention to me, but then I made friends in the Ranger Force, and now I've got friends who I work with.
I've got the power of friendship.
I've got superiors who rely on me, and civilians that I protect, and I want to be like my boss. I have the power of bonds and friendship, something you can't understand, alien. You're right, I don't understand.
Is it like this? And then he starts flashing his face into people going like, go, Fighter D, you're the best, you can do it. And he's just like, cool, do I get a Zenkai boost now? It's like, that's not really what that's about. I really don't understand human interactions. Why am I not stronger? These are the bonds of friendship you were talking about. I'm gonna punch you with my bare fist to show you the strength of my bonds. Oh, that did nothing.
No, the best part is it's been explicitly stated that the Dusters are such pathetic, disposable cannon fodder that the slightest touch can break them.
Mm-hmm.
And
when he punches back, his fist is crushed. So I think you were right.
Yeah. Only the regeneration is what makes them formidable. They crack like porcelain and then heal right away. He gets punched full in the face by Whiny Boy and doesn't even flinch.
Yeah. And then Whiny Boy immediately runs back, grabs his scythe, just covers himself in goopy white liquid, and just like, actually, the superpower I have is representative of my bonds and friendship, so I'm going to use that to kill you instead. It's only through deep bonds can you get this much cum.
I needed to be surrounded by people giving me their love in order to get this covered in power.
It is important to trust your partners.
If only I could somehow kneel in the center of a circle of this bond of friendship.
Please, no!
I could be showered with their love and affection.
It's not our fault he looks bukkake, Jay.
I mean, I was trying to read not into that. I tried very hard.
You had to just avoid the official translation then, because they were constantly making.
I know. Okay, it was very uncomfortable to read, is what I'm saying.
All that to say, though, in the moment when I was reading this, I was sort of worried about where they were going with this. But by the end of the reading, they actually, it's one of those ones where it's like, earning the trust of the series that they're going to do something with this. I really like the D does not get the idea of bonds making you stronger. Mm-hmm. That is completely foreign to him. And the guy who does understand bond, or the guy who says he understands bonds making you strong, like he doesn't actually get it. Like he knows the taglines, but he doesn't really understand what that kind of camaraderie is, because this is all just corporate BS, like all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that we get like little snippets of his background, that he is kind of a weirdo. He doesn't really have that support system that he thinks he has.
It's it's partially there, but it's not really there. And the big thing is he doesn't understand it like he thinks he does. And that's representative when he tries to do the shonen thing of putting down the superpower and winning on, raw determination alone. And it doesn't work, because that's not how it works. There's some truth to be said that the divine tool he's using is technically representative of the bonds of humanity against the monsters, but he's using it as a crutch. He's not really know.
That's the thing that's been really fun about this manga. It's playing into all those tropey platitudes of the standard heroic shonen, or heroic sentai in this case, and subverting them by saying, if you don't truly hold these beliefs, not even just within yourself, but within the people that you are
connected to,
if you don't surround yourself with people that also truly hold these beliefs, it's a facade. It's all a facade.
There were occasionally points. It was this initial part of the fight gets reinforced later, and then there's one other character that I'm not a big fan of. We'll get to him, but it's one of those ones where it goes, here is the very stock shonen trope. We're gonna start playing it straight and then subvert it because it's more complicated than that. And of course it's more complicated than that. The nature of fiction is to distill reality, to focus on one aspect and at least hopefully find some kernel of truth in it, whilst being entertaining. But this really does do, when Go-Go Loser Ranger is no, that trope is more complicated than that. It really does seem to get, that what that deeper layer is. It's not mocking the idea of the bonds of friendship. It's parodying not just it's not just these characters are bad. It's also to some extent parodying series that give those platitudes without the depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have a true bond with your allies, you'll never get the thick, gloopy power, the thick glue of companionship.
People together.
I always like it when my friends reward me with thick, gloopy goo.
Long, strong threads. Ew.
Stringy, drippy threads of friendship dripping down my face and hair. Now, one thing. Bro jobs for life. Now, well, no, bro jobs would be nice and contained, then you could just swallow. But anyway, one thing I do like though is that Whiny Boy has bought into the Sentai nonsense. and he's acting like this world works in like Sunday morning Sentai rules, and it doesn't. So you can't just punch someone with the bonds of friendship. Like that doesn't do anything. It's a metaphor.
Soul Eater.
But yeah, like, and the fact that fails and he immediately goes like, nope, I'll just use the weapon I have as a metaphor for that. Great. And yeah, it's at this point that D realizes, oh no, he's just gone. He was toying with him until now. And now he's just full on, I am made of cum. You can't touch me or else you'll get impregnated. Like,
I mean, that's where I expected the conversation to go.
Oh man, it's he just becomes a thick white liquid monster.
He just becomes a walking cum box.
Yeah,
a cum zombie, you might say.
God damn it! Everything comes back to FMA, the live action. I hate it.
Oh my god. But yeah, so D runs away. He meets up with Hibiki and they need to come up with a plan because this guy, things are going bad.
Mm-hmm.
Hibiki's like, okay, now's also a great time for me to tell you my backstory. So, and then he goes straight into his backstory where he's just like, when I was a little boy, my father was a great man. I think he was a doctor or something. They don't really go fully into it. But one time I saw a kitten, and that kitten was about to be eaten by a crow, but I was a hero of justice, so I ran up to scare the crow away. And then my dad said, what the fuck are you doing, kid? All life is equally valid. You need to let the crows eat that kitten. Why are we as humans able to step in and decide what lives and dies? Dad, if all life is equally valid, then doesn't the kitten's life have equal value? Shut up, we're nihilist. Okay.
Yeah,
then lived... Go ahead.
The dad is interesting because he's interesting in a way.
The dad has an actual worldview that, if I'm going to go out on a limb, I don't think the mangaka ascribes to. Yeah. And as such, they write it cartoonishly awful.
Yeah.
Like, the thing I took away from this is the monster's side, the Duster's side is like self-interest to an extreme degree. And the thing I really like about Go-Go Loser Ranger is the fact that they're able to so effectively set up that like the alien mindset of them is why they're wrong in that sense. What the dad is he's altruism taken too far. Except because it's not nearly as deftly handled because it's done over the course of like a flashback and a half. They have to strawman him so hard to an absurd degree.
Yeah, because what he says essentially to his son is that, well, that's the natural order of things. Like the crows are hungry too. Do you want them to starve? You shouldn't get in the way of their meal. The problem is crows are scavengers in an urban environment and they're kind of attacking a kitten. They could find other food easily. You're not really like starving them by saving the cat. Like this isn't nature. You're in a suburb, but whatever. That's the point of this is to make the dad look like a dick is my assumption based on how everything else goes.
Yeah. There's a way that you could make him wrong but sympathetic in that first scene, but it's where it goes. It goes to a weird place.
A really weird place.
From there, it goes to their home life, and mom is on dad's side because they're married. They're on a united front of like, we believe that violence is bad. They're pacifists. They are legitimate pacifists. They have kind of like a religious, like they're vaguely Christian in that they don't think humans should step in the way of God's plan, which I can understand that worldview at least. Like there is a level of arrogance you're removing from yourself to go, why should I decide who lives and dies? If I don't make a decision, then that's God's decision and I'll go with that. And I'm like, okay, that kind of is just removing agency from yourself. But I'm like, that doesn't make you a bad person. That kind of just makes you a neutral person. So yeah. And it's
I'll call you a coward, but like, okay.
The problem is they're not cowards is the thing. Like, they're not afraid. They're making the conscious choice to not be involved. And like that I can at least respect, because it's not like they're afraid of making a choice or afraid of the consequences. They're like, I think this is wrong to think I have the agency to decide.
Because the thing is, they do jump towards the consequences of their actions immediately.
Yeah. Yes. But also what happens is they're watching the news. Oh, that skips over the part where the Hibiki has a sister who's in track and field, and she decides that the only time she can run is late at night. And then her brother goes with her, and he's like, "Did mom tell you to follow me on my night runs?" And he's just like, "Well, yeah, you're a young girl running around by yourself at night. That doesn't seem super safe. Ugh, everyone's just trying to treat me like a baby. No, this just seems like a bad idea." Like,
I don't need a squirt like you protecting me, but I want to protect the people that are important to me. Hey, isn't that Sentai leader's line? Yeah.
So you watching this?
Dad said you're not supposed to watch that. Well, then how did you know the line? Shut up. Yeah. And then we don't really explore that at all, because we cut to the news it's not the next day, but it's in the future. It's like, oh, the aliens have invaded and they're killing everybody. And then Dad's just like, those Sentai. They think they decide what's right and wrong. I'm sure the aliens have their own worldview, and maybe we should find some peaceful solution with them. Which is interesting that he's being portrayed as the villain in this, because he's right. Like,
yeah, it's like finding a diplomatic solution with the aliens is morally the best option, because it removes the most violence from the situation.
I guess what it's portraying here is that the dad is correct, but because of his preconceived biases, not because of actual evidence. Yeah. So he just happens to be on the right side when he takes his children to a protest and makes them. Mom's got a great scene where she's just like, "Say the line, honey. Say what I said to say. We need to find a peaceful solution."
And both little Hibiki and mom have this like wide-eyed, traumatized look on their faces.
Yeah, because what this scene is functionally trying to do is it's showing the other extreme relative to Dee's worldview, but like empathy is a good thing, so they have to make the dad really stupidly extreme. It's like a bad version of the whole point of Gundam Wing. Like,
I mean, they're equally portraying the mom as bad. Like, she's using
the
her
mom too.
Yeah, like they're a unified front.
She is just enabling dad to continue to be like this.
Yeah. And then that culminates in the tragic backstory portion of his
tragic backstory.
As we find out that we had been told that mom and dad were religious. I'm assuming Christian, because that seems like the genre of their worldview that would make the most sense, but it could be a few things. They could also be a cult. It doesn't matter, because a monster, we don't get this explicitly stated, but it's obviously a monster that's been generated as like a Power Rangers monster of the week that happens to look like a biblically accurate angel who comes down and says, "You congregation of worshipers, I am your God. Sacrifice yourself to me." And then he absorbs their energy and they die.
It does look kind of death culty, because I mean, name a more iconic duo than Japan in creating dangerous cults, America in creating dangerous cults, but.
Well, bold of you to assume most of Christianity isn't a death cult, but hey.
Look, I had that joke cooking for the past 6 hours. So I wanted to
fair.
But yeah, it culminates with that like power of this being falling into the like church, and these people sacrificing their lives to it causes the structure to collapse. And the sister like sees Hibiki standing in front of her, looks down to see that her legs are crushed, and like I love the reaction on her, because it's not that she can't get away, it's that she's a track and field athlete and her dreams are dead.
Oh yeah, her legs are gone. They got Caesar Zapellied.
And she's like, "Leave me, I'm already gone." And he's just like, "No, I'm a hero." And he does his little Sentai pose.
I will protect the people who are important to me. And that's when the Dragon Keepers like showed up and defeated that monster. And that's how he and his sister survived and set him on this path. And I do really like the little moral there where Hibiki's like, I have been told all my life what is right and what is wrong, even to the point where like I just followed what I was told rather than believing what was in my heart. And now I'm finally going to do the thing that I think is right. Me personally.
Which is the deeper layer of the, trite Sentai trope or shonen trope.
And I also like the kind of implication here is that he thinks he's doing what he thinks is right, and that's partially true, but there's also he's still a product of his environment too, because his plan is I'm going to sacrifice myself so that you can live. Like that is his go-to thing is I will die so you can live. I'm like, that's kind of your dad speaking. And like, yeah, because that's what he was raised on. Like,
yeah, and like there's a level of work in progress to him.
And oh boy, do we get some self-sacrifice out of this boy? Because
this is insane.
This is legitimately insane. The level of for a single chapter, this becomes Death Note.
Yeah. Also, same spoiler we put up every time we do this. You should have done the reading, but also, we're gonna have to do this out of order because the manga is revealing it to you in like little pieces throughout, which is just terrible to recoup. Like.
Like it's doing the heist movie thing where if you explain the plan beforehand, of course it's gonna fail. But if you drip feed it to the audience in the moment, then it works. But yeah, that's like Matt said.
Yeah.
So we have the scene of D holding Hibiki hostage at the edge of a cliff that whiny boy drips his way into. And the way the scene plays out is that Whiny Boy is 99% certain that they are in collusion somehow, and the monsters can transform. Maybe they swapped clothes. So, if that is the case, on my little little graph of possibilities,
I love the like kids menu logic puzzle he's got for like it could be one of two things: either they're collaborating, or they've swapped bodies, or any combination of the two. And then he's got like, well, I kill them in almost all situations.
If they are collaborating, I kill both of them. If they swap bodies, I kill the one that appears to be Hibiki. If they didn't swap bodies and aren't collaborating, I kill the one that appears to be the invader. But the safest option is just to kill both of them and play it off. And
yeah, but he's not going to do that because he cares too much about being liked.
And that's the point where Hibiki, air quotes, says, wait, just keep this hostage talk going. I radioed for help. Backup is on the way.
Playing into his desire to be liked and appreciated, because that means he has to at least make it look like he was trying to save Hibiki.
Or he needs to act so that things move faster so he can get this settled before people show up.
He flings down the scythe, like playing into the hostage situation, at which point Hibiki runs forward to grab the scythe. He notices D isn't running, and he's like, aha, this means that D is the actual target. I throw my cum at you.
Well, more importantly, it's that D doesn't run away, so he knows they've swapped bodies and they're collaborating. So I'm throwing my cum all over traitor Hibiki.
Yes, D, clearly traitor Hibiki.
Except the cum hits his hand and cuts his hand off, and then it starts reforming, and he's like, wait, what the fuck?
Hold on. Wait, so that was Hibiki, but are they working together? I don't know. Either way, I'm going to take the scythe and I'm going to kill them. I'm stabbed in the back because he did the hand retrieval thing again.
Well, that's okay. They didn't swap bodies then, I guess. And I'm like, wait, hold on. Did they not swap bodies? And then we get the flashback to like, no, we definitely swapped bodies. But, would make this plan a lot more realistic. Convoluted, yes. But their characters think this is clearly the smartest decision. And by characters, I mean Hibiki. Because D is just talking like, yeah. So like, no, I've got an idea. And he's tying his hand off like to cut blood circulation, and you're like, what are you doing, Hibiki?
why are you tourniqueting your arm? Bro, why are you picking up your sword, bro?
That won't come back, right? And he's just like, No, but it still hurts to have it cut. So you're suffering that multiple times over. It's not bad that I should suffer it at least once. And even D's like, buddy, that's so stupid. That's not
comparable.
The initial pain is so much less than not having an arm for the rest of your life. Like,
martyr complex ?
Yeah, like this is like I would use my body to feed those crows rather than the kitten die. Like, I don't think that's what the lesson your dad was teaching you.
Hibiki, which we know at this point is actually D, picks up the scythe, looks very Grim Reaper-y, causing Whiny Boy to freak out like, oh no, I'm going to die, and then lops the head off of D, actually Hibiki.
Mm-hmm.
And now Hibiki, apparently dead, and apparently D, falls limbless into the ravine. And D, disguised as Hibiki, then walks away with the knockoff divine tool into the Ranger Force, completing the ultimate I want to take his face off of all time. But also, that's so stupid. Why did you cut off your arm, Hibiki?
It's the line.
You could have hidden it in a sleeve and had one of D's fake arms.
He could have done the same thing he did with the head.
Yeah.
It's like, because his head also had to come off and be a fake head, but whatever. But like, my favorite part is the end of this. They have the final like flashback to their conversation, and it's D going like, Hibiki, now that you've told me your backstory, I was never able to copy your eyes before, but now I understand what you were always looking at. And it shows him with his bright, starry eyes, and I'm like, that's great, D. You still can't fucking talk to people, so you're gonna be found out within the next chapter, and Yumiko is gonna have to save you. But
again,
I guess it was worth Hibiki cutting off his arm for you. Hibiki does kind of say it's for selfish reasons, because currently, as he is, he can't move forward on his own ambition. So he's gonna go disguised as D, but he could do that with an arm. In fact, not having a complete body while disguising yourself as a monster is going to look suspicious.
Yep. There is also a bit of a funny moment where he like it's this big dramatic moment of him cutting off his arm. It's set up like a moment in a shonen, and D is like, why did you do that? That was incredibly stupid. And D hasn't like committed to the plan yet, and Hibiki is like, I just cut off my arm. Please say you'll do the plan.
Oh,
no one asked you to do that, so that's really your problem.
Yeah, he basically tells him that. He could go along with the plan, though.
I'm just saying, if we ever come back to this, we are keeping a tally on how much time this actually bought him, because it can't be any reasonable amount. Like,
the only thing that D has going for him right now is that Hibiki is already kind of a weirdo, so him talking like a weirdo will be kind of believable.
Well, talking about weirdos, we've literally had the inner monologues of D admitting that ever since he came down to experience Earth, he has never met a quote-unquote normal person.
Yeah, that's true. The first two people he met on the surface was the yandere burn it all down for the drums.
Yes.
And the starry-eyed, let's do the most complicated self-martyring plan possible.
So naturally, I just have to assume that most of humanity are unhinged weirdos, obviously.
Which is accurate.
Guys, that's not true, though. D's entire character is because one day when he was doing the Sunday show, a little boy in the crowd said, "You can do it, henchman. I believe in you." And he's been riding that high ever since. Like that. He clearly knows what a normal person is. Just, he's not meeting
love
many of
his
them.
like unfortunate luck to just be surrounded by weirdos all the time.
And thus brings us to the end of our reading. So, favorite character and favorite fight. Oh man, Jake, I'm gonna steal your bit. I don't know who to pick for my favorite character. There's so many. but I think I'm gonna settle on D just because he is one half of the goober duo with Hibiki, and I love both of them. But D's so interesting as a protagonist because it's like you say, he's got an alien idea. He doesn't know about the standard human-centric,
experience,
the platitudes built around that over decades of young adult hero storytelling. He's operating on his own level, and it's working, and that's kind of based. So yeah, D is a lot of fun, and I'll set him as my favorite character. As for favorite fight, it's the cum fight.
Is there any other?
Hide and seek in the forest with the acidic cum scythe. It's just...
That's a sentence.
Yes,
how do you top that? Presumably with consent. Hopefully with consent. That's how you top that.
God damn it.
Matt, favorite character, favorite fight.
So I gotta go with Ranger Red because he just hams up the villain role. He's got that great kind of like silent anger, and just the scene where like this person who's portrayed as like his shonen mentee just pounds his face into a splattering on the wall just because you're not better than me. Let's eat. And like is unaffected. It's just it's good like villaining. And like I really enjoyed that. And then as favorite fight, I really enjoyed the fight between him and D.
It played into the mind game. It foreshadowed the mind games that we would get later in the cum fight.
The cum fight being just a Death Note fight is definitely not what I was expecting. Really, just the more we talk about this, the closer to Fap Note it becomes.
It's a combination of the mind games, the underdog fighting the big bads, and the big bads still prevailing because, well, we need to have more story. It's very solid Sentai bullshit. Jay, favorite character, favorite fight?
Miko is probably my favorite character because just have to give a shout out to my girl. And favorite fight, we've already, I think, hit a home run with the cum fight. Because
Which is surprising because Ranger Red's fight is the one with the home run.
Yeah,
literally.
All right, yes, the baseball references, yes. But yeah.
Really, after the cum fight, they needed to hit the showers.
It really did.
Maybe they could use Yellow's showers.
Oh my god, please stop.
No, the cum fight will live on in infamy.
I was trying so hard to block that out. I was trying not
No.
to it. But it
That's what it was.
I would believe like his hair and face melting. Like you'd be like, oh, that's wax. It's the fact that like the neck on his coat is just dripping with a translucent white fluid. It's just It's when it gets on the clothes that you can really tell what it is.
It's really something else. Jacob, favorite character, favorite fight?
Favorite character, I'm going to go with D as well. Honestly, I think it's really cool the way that they can create a like internally consistent character that has that sort of like alien mindset. I know that this isn't like unique or groundbreaking, but it's cool to see in something that's formatted in a way that I like. And favorite fight, I'm also gonna go with the fight on the roof between D and Red Keeper. I mean, the cum zombie. I had said cum zombie again. I'm so used to that. The cum forest fight. That one is great, but I'm not gonna lie. The end got a little bit annoyingly convoluted.
Yeah.
So it's like when you need to make your hand go numb to finish off the cum fight, really.
Yeah, they were stroking that bit of inspiration a little too long.
Normally,
it kind of started chafing near the end.
Normally, I'm a fan of these sorts of intricate fights, but that's really just the author jerking himself off at that point.
Penis.
But yeah, I like the roof.
Masturbation.
God damn it. I like the roof fight because it was very well foreshadowed and easy to follow, but it was a fun surprise in the moment when, you know, the hubris brings down the superpower, you know, like the overpowering super guy.
All right. Plot predictions going forward. I stated it earlier, I really hope that we continue with D being just very inhuman, but that him going further down that path both further contrasts how just the absolute worst of humanity that the Ranger Force is, just making them even worse bad guys in the process, but also finding a common ground with Hibiki, just proving that the interspecies like dialogue is possible.
I predict that there's going to be an instance where we're going to have to contend with the fact that there is no plan beyond the initial invasion stage, just because like the only history that they've retained, or at least that they've revealed, is that their executives created them and told them that they were to invade and take over humanity, take over Earth. Well, the executives are gone.
So even if they win, what next?
Yes.
And that is something that Hibiki even brings up, because
why are you doing this? Why do you want this?
D's only plan is to just find the next guy in his path and beat him into submission. Hibiki brings up, okay, then what? And I beat up the next guy. Then what? I beat him up too. Then what? I beat him up too. Then what? Come on, man. Why do you keep asking that? Because you need to give me an answer. Otherwise, you're as doomed as you already were. And I really appreciated that. That is a level of forethought that you rarely see in this sort of high-octane shonen Sentai thing. What happens after?
For me, I've got two things to note. The first one is actually what I mentioned previously about, I feel like the story is either going to go in the direction of like developing D into a more human character, so he contrasts with the Keepers and the Rangers being less and less human as they get more villainous. Or I think the more interesting option is him staying inhuman and that acting as an even sharper contrast. If this being that isn't even human is more humane than the supposed good guys, you know, then obviously something about the system is wrong, et cetera, all that stuff. The other thing I can't help but notice is they teased the idea of a executive who was nice to the foot soldiers, and the fact that they poignantly did not show this character's face means something.
Yep.
So one of the executives is alive and in hiding, or one of the there is an executive off planet who's going to show up, which might tie into what Jay was mentioning, what Jay and Sam mentioned about, like, what's the plan after this? You know, what do you do next? There might be a point when, you know, D has actually turned the tables and the villains are a threat again, and they're nearing victory, and they realize they don't know what victory means, at which point, you know,
the executive shows up to say, here's what the plan was.
Yeah. Which could go in any number of different directions.
Okay. I've got an oddball thing. So we got it's all hinged on a very one-off character that we didn't even mention. We get established during that weird dinner party that the Rangers have a mascot that is a tiny living dragon.
Right, we didn't mention him.
Which is super weird, but I've got a crazy theory that I want to be true more than I think it's possible. I think that D is going to investigate the Rangers, and his main goal is he's going to try and figure out what the divine weapons are and how did they come about. And based on like Sentai logic or more magical girl logic, I think that the weapons are like made from the dead body parts of a giant dragon corpse that lives beneath the ground, that the tiny dragon is an avatar of, and he needs to go down there and try and sabotage it. But at some point, Red's going to find out about that and is going to use the divine power to resurrect the dragon corpse into a giant Zord that they have to fight. And D is going to be like, oh no. And he's going to jump into the giant castle they live in and have all of the henchmen form the legs of a giant monster. And there's going to be a giant robot battle versus a giant evil dragon corpse where everyone's going to find out that the dragon keepers are evil.
That could happen.
That is definitely some magical girl logic, but honestly, I could see them doing that, and I kind of want it.
Me too. I don't kind of want it. I definitely want it. All right. And with that, would you continue reading? I think I would. I had a lot of fun with this. It's definitely putting more thought into what if the bad guy was the protagonist than you usually see with this, where it's either
bad guy in name only,
literally just a hero's journey, but with a coat of black and red paint, so we're all Shadow the Hedgehog, or it's Remonster where it doesn't commit, and God, that's boring. So yeah, I would continue to read this. Jay, how about you?
I mean, I at first was concerned when I first was into the first chapter, but it grew on me, and really, I think where I would continue reading is I guess I appreciate the political conversation that this ended up being.
All right, Matt, how about you? Would you continue reading?
Yeah, I think I would, but it's like a very soft wood, which is probably because of the cum forest.
Yeah, we really blew our load with that one.
It can only get better.
Really, I think we're going back to the wells too many times. We're going to come up dry eventually.
Yeah, eventually it's just going to start staining things.
Yeah, plus the smell. God damn it, we really need to stop. Or else we'll go blind.
I can't. I've already got hair on my palms.
Anyway, back to this. I didn't really like the first couple of chapters. It felt kind of like on the nose. I like where it turned into, although I did kind of get a little lost during the big fight with Whiny Boy. I felt like that got a little too convoluted for convoluted's sake, and I think all of our reaction to Hibiki cutting his arm off is kind of like, why? But then like in character, D's also like, why would you do that? And I think that's why their plan worked, because it's so insane that Whiny Boy doesn't think that's what he would do.
Yeah,
so
that's hovering right on the edge of the character does something stupid, good writing, versus the character does something stupid, bad writing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like, amazingly, in what we read, I don't know enough about where I can think the story's going to really have a like solid idea about whether or not I'd continue reading. So yeah, I'm still on board. I haven't got knocked off yet.
And Jacob, would you continue reading?
Yes, asterisk. Which might be a bit of a surprise. You know, I mean, like there are some foibles that the manga has made that I think are just clear, you know, oversteps or errors or whatever. I do not like Hibiki's dad.
Mm-hmm.
But
conveniently, you're not supposed to like Hibiki's dad.
That's true, but I don't like him for not for the reason they wanted.
He's poorly written, is why I don't like him.
Yeah, you're supposed to like him because he's a jerk, not because he's poorly written. But you know, like that aside, like you know, like the vast majority of this is really cool, and there are a lot of really interesting ideas. The reason why I'm not going to be reading this for a while is almost it's going to sound like a complete non sequitur. I'm on a big Sentai kick right now. By pure happenstance, I forgot that we had planned to read this, and right before we started reading, I literally binged watched all of Loopat over the course of like 3 days.
He's not shut up about it.
I am on a big Sentai kick right now, and this isn't a Sentai. It's a shonen.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I love shonen, and this is really cool. So it's something that I'm going to put away for a while, but it's definitely something that is interesting, up my alley, and I would love to do more episodes on this. I'm very interested at where it's going, because there were a bunch of different points where I'm like, boy, I hope you're doing that on purpose, and I hope that's going to pay off in some way. And so far, it has paid off the things that it set up, which I think goes a lot into the idea of Hibiki cutting off his arm is completely fucking stupid, but I think it's supposed to be. I think that's on purpose. I think that's like the point. So I want to see that paid off in a way that makes sense, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And again, I want to see which direction Dee's character falls, because both are interesting. I would prefer one over the other, but the fact that even from a character perspective, that's clearly the choice being presented to him, not just in a metacontextual sense, but in a diegetic sense, is a really neat way of taking a frankly really well-written character. So what's not to love?
Okay. I do want to jump in here. There is a thing about us continuing to read this from just a meta perspective. The next arc is 39 chapters long. So in the same vein of One Punch Man and Blue Lock, we'd love to do another episode on this. It's real hard to make it work because we do like one arc at a time. So if you want us to read this and you really enjoyed this episode, I don't like asking for this, but really reach out, because if we have people reaching out and saying we should do more, that means a lot more than trying to figure out how to read 39 chapters in a week for just regular episode stuff. So by popular demand, we will do more.
Indeed. And you can deliver that popular demand by following us on all of the social medias, where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube, where you can like, comment, and subscribe. The episodes go up there on a 2-week delay, so if you want to catch our up-to-date stuff, there's overmangacast.com, and that even has a place where you can comment suggestions. You can tell us that you want us to keep reading Go-Go Loser Ranger, or give us suggestions for new series entirely. We love hearing from you.
And as always, we appreciate reviews in any and all forums, and you can reach out to us directly over mangacast@gmail.com. Please, if you like this, tell us to read more of this. If you've got anything else, this was a recommendation that we read on someone's recommendation. I don't know why I said that twice. Yeah, go ahead, reach out.
And make sure to tune in next week, where we are going to be diving back into the wild world of Chainsaw Man, chapters 120 through 131. So if you're keeping up with the show, read that, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, everyone, strike the team pose.
Over Manga Cast, red.
Wait, crap, this is an auditory medium.
I said I wasn't going to do this in pre-production. Also, why am I over Manga Cast pink when we have Jay?
Excuse me?
Which color were you going to be, Jay?
I really liked yellow.
All right.
Okay, I guess I'm pink then.